welcome.
Nice to see you
Come
too.
on in.
Thank you.
Go ahead, have a seat, be comfortable.
So before we start, I want to thank you so much for having your time to meet with me. And I'm very excited to hear about your story and how you got where you're now. And also, I want to tell you a little bit about myself so you know where I came from. The things that I'm most interested in is medical fields, dance, and also helping people like you do. But I'm not sure how to connect those things in my life to what I'm doing in my future. For me right now in my life, the biggest question I have is what to do with my life. What are my goals? How do I choose my career? So I hope that you have some wisdom and experience. Where were you in my age?
How old are you now? When I was 19 years old, I had just graduated. I had gone into the Marine Corps Reserves, and after I decided that I wanted to do something more, so I enrolled in North Seattle Community College, and I began my studies there. Received an Associate of Arts degree in 1988.
You get to where you are today.
Well, I came to this school, actually I was referred to this job by a girl I met at the University of Washington while I was studying Spanish, and her major was psychology. She wanted to become a school psychologist, and like yourself, I didn't know what I wanted to do with my Spanish. I had decided to leave the automotive repair field where I did collision work, and so I took exchange student and I went to Argentina to study Spanish. And then after I came back, I looked into interpreting for hospitals and for private companies. And
Challenges and obstacles did you face in your aim becoming what you wanted to do?
well, I went to college. So one of the challenges was that I went back to school at 23. So I had forgotten a lot of things about writing and math. So I needed to take a year of review while I was at the community college. So my first year was basically taking review classes, and at the same time I was working 2 jobs and I was living alone with roommates. So that was very challenging to me. The transition between working as a body man in a production shop repairing cars to going to school, working in the shop part-time and working in a warehouse part-time was a time-demanding challenge. So one of the first classes that I took on my second quarter was time management, and that class taught me how to manage my time more effectively every day, how to go to work, how to go to school, how to get my homework done, and that helped me become more successful in my studies.
You wish you would have done something in college.
Well, when I was in college, I had an opportunity to buy Microsoft stock before it's originally split. I had the funds saved up to buy a house, and I decided to buy the house instead of the stock. Looking back now, if I'd have bought that stock, I would have a lot of money.
Fail or make the wrong choices?
Sure, there's always fear when you're making new choices, and my father told me it's easy to look back and see where you've been, but it's hard to look forward and see where you're going. So what I did was focus on my studies, and my studies were what guided me. I found out that I was a good biology student, so I studied biology, so I kept studying Spanish, and I went to South America and studied in Argentina, and that became my major, Spanish major, with biology as a minor.
So who basically inspired you to what you become today?
Well, I've had many teachers. 12. So I grew up with my father. He was a very strict man. He was a combat veteran from the Korean War and raised on a farm. So we were brought up very strictly. I had a good mentor at the body shop who was the owner's son. His name was Johnny Nelson, and he was one of my greatest mentors.
What advice do you have for my generation and upcoming generation?
So I think what really needs to be done is you need to focus on where your passion is, and you've stated that you like the medical field. Your interest lies in the medical field. So you need to pursue your education in the medical field and keep following forward.
We have talked about, is there any piece of advice that you would give me about what it takes to define my own road?
You need to choose friends that have like interests that you have. When you're in class, you need to find people to study with that are good partners and that share like interests that you do. You need to take the time to spend with your family and your friends, and you need to learn to manage your time. And you need to move forward. You need to find and seek help and advocate for yourself while you're studying. You need to use the tutoring labs, tutors, make time with your professors, and above all, you need to move forward and don't lose your focus. Even if you trip and fall down, you can take time off, but you have to come back.
Yeah, okay. So, we're done with the interview. Thank you so much for your time. I
No,
really
thank you
enjoyed
for
it.
coming. I really enjoyed it. I'm flattered that you have come and chosen me as an inspiration for you.
Yeah.
You've been an inspiration to me. Very wonderful working with you all the time.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, okay.
Bye.
Bye.
Have a good day.
Keep in touch.
Yes.